Epilogue, London, November 1888. All dressed in black, the nameless stranger emerges from her lodgings late at night to prowl the streets of the East End. From her unfashionably straight waist swings a rosary, its ebony beads clicking as she walks. The veiled habit of a nun covers her tall, thin body from head to toe. In her arms she carries food, blankets, and clothing for the poor old women who huddle on the steps of the workhouse, and the crawling women, corn tossers, and any others whom she might find in a need. The street folk accept her kindness and call her sister. No one knows her by any other name, for she never speaks. Seemingly, she has taken a vow of silence and solitude. Or perhaps she wishes not to flaunt cultivated speech, not to be betrayed by any upper-class accent. Silent she comes as she goes, an object of curiosity at first, but after a few days, scarcely noticed. In a much wealthier and somewhat bohemian section of the city, someone is opening an office in the same Gothic residence where Madame Laelia Sybil de Paperva, astral purgatorian, held seances before her, or rather his, shocking arrest, the scandal of the season. With the previous occupant gone to prison, in the house's bay window a placard has been placed. Soon to be available for consultation, Dr. Leslie T. Ragostin, scientific purgatorian. A scientist must, of course, be a man, and an important one, quite busy at the university or the British Museum. Undoubtedly, this is why no one in the well-to-do neighborhood had yet seen the great Dr. Leslie T. Ragostin. But every day his secretary comes and goes, putting things to rights in his new office, tending to his affairs. She's a plain young woman, unremarkable except for her efficiency, very much like thousands of other young women typists and bookkeepers surviving in London so as to send a little money home to their families. Her name is Ivy Meshel. Daily, as befits a virtuous and modest young woman, alone in the big city, Ivy Meshel lunches at the professional women's tea room nearest to her place of employment. There, protected from any contact with the predatory male of the species, she sits alone reading the Pall Mall Gazette and various other periodicals. Already she has found in one of these publications a personal advertisement that interests her exceedingly, so much so that she has clipped it out and carries it on her person. It says, Iris Tipstalls to Ivy. ABOMNITEUNTYNYHYATEUASRMLNRSML. OIGNHSNOOLCRSNHMMLOABIGOE. Sometimes alone in her cheap lodgings, Miss Meshel, or perhaps the mute, nameless sister, draws this slip of paper from her pocket and sits down to look at it, even though she has long since deciphered it. And blooming in the sun, not only chrysanthemum, also rambling rose. The message was sent, she believes, by a contented woman who is wandering free in a place where there are no hairpins, no corsets, no dress improvers with the gypsies and the Moors. If she had any distance to travel, why did she not use the bicycle? Why did she not leave by the gate? If she struck out across country on foot, where was she going? One hypothesis answers all three questions. The runaway woman had no great distance to travel, needing only to walk out among the countryside until she met, very likely by prearrangement, with the caravan of England's nomads. In the meanings of flowers, the rambling rose refers to a free, wandering, gypsy type of life. And if there is a touch of larceny in the nature of gypsies, well, so there appeared to be so in Eudora Vernet Holmes, as was demonstrated by her dealings with Mycroft Holmes. Very likely she is quite enjoying herself. One question remains unanswered. Why did Mum not take me with her? Not as troublesome a thought as it used to be. That freedom-loving lady, growing old, having probably only a brief time to fulfill a dream before she dies, has done the best she can for her late-in-life daughter. Sometime, plans the girl who walks alone, perhaps in the spring, among the weather. When the weather is warmed enough to permit travel, she will seek out to search for her mother among the gypsies. But meanwhile, as she looks at the newspaper clipping, her rather long and angular face softens, rendered almost beautiful by a smile, for she knows that in the secret code of flowers, a rose of any sort signifies love. The end.